The gross vehicle weight rating is the maximum total weight allowed by the car manufacturer. But what will happen if you exceed that maximum weight limit? The Australians call it the gross vehicle mass, and they are very serious about it. Meanwhile, in America, most overlanders don't think too much about it.
So I'm 1900.
Now you're overweight.
I am overweight, but I have still bigger springs. It's okay.
This Tundra belongs to my friend Gene, and he had a lot done to it. But after we went to a certified truck scale and weighed out trucks,
absolutely insane, man. It changed everything.
And even for my Tundra, which had a fairly minimum setup, its weight also caught me off guard. After this exercise, I can confidently say most overland builds in America are indeed overweight. So in this video, we will review how much our trucks actually weigh, what are the real-world impacts from being overweight, and at last, can we legally increase our GVWR in the United States? Alright, let's get started. Gene's 2024 double cab has a gross vehicle weight rating of 7,310 pounds. If we minus the maximum payload of 1,475, then add the 9 pounds worth of factory accessories, we get a curb weight of 5,844. This is how much his truck weighed back when it was stock, with nothing in there except for a full tank of gas. Similarly, my 2007 regular cab has a GVWR of 6,800, a payload of 1,595, therefore a curb weight of 5,205 pounds. It was about 600 pounds lighter than Gene's because it was 20 inches shorter and had a lot fewer techs and features. Before we got on the scale, we wanted to take an educated guess on our weight.
Okay, I guess I have 300 pounds inside, 200 pounds up here. That's 500 pounds. Tires, probably 200 pounds more total. Sliders like 150 pounds.
Do you have a winch yet?
No.
Oh yeah.
No skid plate. So we have, I'll say I'm 6,000 pounds.
You're 6,000 pounds.
Right.
Okay.
All right. What about you? Oh, you got a lot more, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is steel.
Steel.
Oh shit.
So I would say 150 with the winch, 220. Tires, probably 300 pounds more. Rack is probably 100. No, maybe 70. 500 alu cab by OK 4-wheel drive. So that's
Okay.
1,100.
Oh my god.
Skids and sliders, probably 300.
Holy
So
shit.
that's-
This is steel?
Oh yeah, so that's 1,300. I think and the load is probably another 300. So I'm 1,900.
All right.
So I bet I am between 78 to 2,000 because I'm also in
And 8,000.
and 8,000.
Alright, okay.
78 to 8,000 because I will be sitting, right?
You're right. Yeah, both people are sitting.
Yeah.
So let's see how close Gene's estimate was.
We are 8,600.
In other words, Gene exceeded the GVWR by 1,290 pounds. Another thing worth mentioning is Gene's weight distribution. His rear axle carries 720 pounds more, and most of that came from the camper build.
I think this is not 500. I think they're bullshit.
It's like 1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds. It's probably no 500 if you don't add anything. But then
Right.
you add all the mattresses and nets and spares and heaters and oh my god.
God.
On the other hand, my Tundra was pretty much stock. So let's see how much lighter I was.
66.
So I am 2,000 pounds lighter?
2,000 pounds.
That is crazy.
But still, I also significantly underestimated my weight.
I'll say I'm 6,000 pounds.
And I later realized I asked my wife to step out to film the truck. So my weight was missing one passenger. Now, my wife wouldn't let me share the exact number, but with her included, my minimally built Tundra was pretty much at the GVWR. So I would say most overland builds out there actually way closer to Gene's.
I think a lot of people are this weight.
Yeah, pretty common.
Right. It's not like crazy. It's
No.
a higher end,
But
not
not
crazy,
crazy.
right.
There's nothing crazy. Like I added stuff that a lot of people have.
yeah. Like these are like must have.
Yeah, sliders, skids,
Yeah.
bumpers, and winch.
Oh,
We weighed our truck at a Caxdale station. It only costs $15, and you can find one pretty much everywhere. In fact, we did it in the middle of our trip to Yellowstone, so both of us were fully loaded. We left the Caxdale station with more questions than answers. So you're like 1,200 pounds over GVWR.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I mean, suspension is different, right? So it can handle it, but what else cannot? I need to think about it.
Gene had the 3-inch lift with heavy-duty springs and shocks. Most overlanders I've seen have some type of suspension upgrades. It's an obvious thing to do, plus we all love lifting up trucks. So our concern was everything other than the suspension.
But I have still bigger springs. It's okay.
you may break your frame in half.
Yeah.
After Yellowstone, we plan to hit some technical blue trails in Montana. According to Onyx Dispersed Camping Layer, we could actually camp right on top of the mountain after wheeling. A perfect plan to end our trip. But while we're making our way there, what did you get?
Transmission oil temperature high, stop in safe place, and see owner's manual.
Oh no, transmission temperature high? My temperature is like right in the middle.
Yeah.
Based on my thermal camera, Gene's transmission oil pan read around 245 degrees. Now, we had been climbing for the last 10 miles. Both of us were in 4 high, driving between 20 to 35 miles per hour. But according to Onyx, the average grade was only 3.9%, and the temperature that day was a cool 64 degrees. Basically, it was all very mild conditions. The blue trails we planned to go had some even steeper climbs. So to play it safe, we decided to change plans and stay closer to town. Onyx Off-Road make last-minute changes like these a lot more informed and a lot less stressful. They have been a long-time sponsor to this channel, and you can use code Tinkerer or the link below for 20% off. I would like to thank Onyx for supporting our adventure. Now, before we blame overheating on weight, there was something else to consider. My second-gen Tundra had a standalone transmission cooler straight from the factory. As you can see, it was clearly doing work. But Gene's third-gen did not have this. His transmission cooler was integrated into the radiator, which was less effective. So was it the weight or the transmission cooler? Probably a little bit of both. In fact, most Toyotas don't come with a dedicated transcooler. That is why it is a pretty common aftermarket upgrade, and Gene will be getting one after this trip. Since we abandoned those blue trails, both of us were itching for more wheeling, so we stopped by the Axe Overland Ranch to test out their off-road course. A big thank you to our friend Ryan for hosting us. I went over most obstacles in my last video, which I will link in the description below. But I deliberately saved the final obstacles for this video.
Finally, we're going to the hump, a steep approach, challenging angles, and very loose dirt.
By my measurement, the incline was about 30 degrees, which equals to a 58% grade. I had no issues on the first try. But Gene did not make it. At first, I thought it was his front tire losing traction, because he was very rear heavy. But that was not the case. Gene said his engine actually felt like it was going to stall. That didn't sound good, especially for his twin-turbo V6. But he hit it again with a little more speed, and made it up just fine. We tried to hump a few more times and could never recreate the issue. So was it a weight or just a random fluke? We don't really know. But after those two oddball issues, we start to lose confidence with his overweight Tundra. Sure, the GVWR probably has some margin, but is there 1,300 pounds of margin? Man, only if there is a complete package designed by real engineers and fully tested to properly increase GVWR. But you know what? There is such package. It is called a GVM Upgrade in Australia. In Australia, it is strictly illegal to exceed the GVM limit. A GVM Upgrade has to be approved by the Australian government and outfitted by authorized installers. For example, this Tundra GVM Upgrade is federally approved for 3,850 kilos, or around 8,500 pounds. That's great. That's exactly what we need. So what's physically in this package? Wait a minute. It was just a suspension lift kit? In fact, these were all off-the-shelf part numbers readily available in the US. As it turned out, most GVM upgrades are simply a suspension lift kit. And if you add some low-rated wheels, you can load a Chevy half-ton to over 9,000 pounds.
It's over 9,000!
Similar kits for the Tundra are being developed. Chances are it will be just suspension and wheels, both of which Gene already had. That is a lot less involved than I expected. After more research, I think I understand why. Long story short, there are 3 key items a GVM upgrade has to pass. The first 2 are physical testing specified by the Australian design rules. ADR 35 for brakes and ADR 88 for ESC. The objective here is safety, not high performance or reliability. So stuff like transmission temperature or engine longevity was not part of the testing. That is why most vehicles can pass with just springs and shocks. Heck, the Chevy even passed with a spacer lift. Now, the third part is finite element analysis to show the chassis is strong enough for the new GVM. Like the axle won't break, the frame won't bend, and the tie rod won't snap. But I couldn't really find any specific requirements for the FEA. Like how strong is strong enough? And what type of off-road conditions do we consider, if at all? We don't really know. And even for the safety testing, all extra weight was placed on the floor. So would it still pass when hundreds of pounds were mounted above the roof? We don't know either. So to be frank, the GVM upgrade did not turn out to be the comprehensive package I was hoping for. It's more like a bare minimum package. If you want high performance and reliability, there's still a lot to be considered, but those are all up to us. I think most Americans who are remotely nerdy about their trucks have been doing the same GVM upgrades all along. Just that the Australians have them as laws, while us Americans do not. Or do we? Let's look into it. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. But based on my research, America does have laws around GVWR, and they are practiced on the state level. Your state laws can be found on your state's General Assembly website under Consolidated Statutes. For my home state, Pennsylvania, under Title 75, Section 4942, the law states that no vehicle registered as a truck shall be operated with a gross weight in excess to its registered gross weight. If I pull up the registration for my Tundra, it was registered as a truck, and my registered gross weight simply matched the GVWR. Okay. However, the law says register gross weight. So can we just register more? As it turned out, we can. Pen.Form NV1005 is literally called Request for Optional Registration at a weight exceeding the GVWR. According to the instructions, my 6800 GVWR falls into weight class number 2. So the highest weight I could register is the upper limit of the same class, 7,000. It ain't much, but it gave me 200 pounds of headroom. However, Gene's 7300 GVWR falls into weight class 3. So the highest gross weight he could register is 9,000.
What, 9,000?
By the way, this form does warn us that exceeding the GVWR could damage our truck and become dangerous. But all we need is to assume our risk. Now, this optional registration only applies to GVWR of 10,000 pounds or less. Trucks above 10,000 pounds are classified as commercial motor vehicles by FMCSA. In many states, 10,000 pounds is also the threshold for highway weigh station. So those bigger trucks have to stay strictly below their GVWR. But for the little overland Tundras and Tacomas,
not to worry, I have a permit.
This just says I can do what I want.
However, this form also warned us that overloading could affect our insurance coverage. That's not good. So I called my insurance company.
You said you have questions regarding your Tundra?
Yeah, for the policy. I told her I'm looking to buy an alloy cab, but the total weight will exceed my GVWR. So with the camper and the other accessories and suspension, everything will be about 8,600 pounds.
Yeah, you're still within the limit. You're perfectly fine, sir.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we're more basically we're more focused on the fact that the vehicle original factory weight is over that amount.
Gotcha.
And if it's going to be used for commercial use.
Okay. Is there any weight limit that will matters for my insurance?
Yes, if anything goes, what you were mentioning, the gross limit, if it goes up to a certain amount, will not be insurable through AAA, which is over any 10 limit. But again, that's if it's the factory vehicle. This is not factory. This is aftermarket and added part like a camper. So no, you wouldn't have an issue. It's more if you use it's more on dualies, to be honest, or the box fans, things like that, sir. But again, those are not insurable through AAA.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, that really addressed my concern here. So when Gene first found out the weight of his Tundra, he totally freaked out.
Absolutely insane, man. It changed everything.
But after our research, it wasn't as crazy as it sounds. The Australians are going over 9,000. But keep in mind, that is still playing with Toyota's design margin, and you will pay one way or the other. In fact, one of Gene's biggest issues was his range. His twin-turbo V6 burns significantly more fuel than my old-school V8. To learn more about that, and how our trucks compare on a 4,000-mile trip, go watch this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.